Like, I mean, I think the pre-show kind of helped out a bit.
All right, we are back. So, Sony just got through with their E3 press conference, and I don't know. There are times when you think of it and it was a little underwhelming, but when you look at the stuff that they presented, it was a pretty strong presentation. I mean, we got God of War, we got a new Uncharted starring a couple of female characters. We got a new Monster Hunter game that looks amazing by Capcom for the PlayStation 4. We got to see a story, an actual damn story for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, something Marvel vs. Capcom 3 failed outright to do. We
Hmm.
got to see an amazing look into the new Spider-Man game, which honestly has me sold. It looks really good and plays real well. Very interested in playing it. So it's not like we didn't see much. I mean, honestly, I guess you could say we didn't see much, but what they did have there, each title was pretty hard hitting. They even threw a Call of Duty in there for the fans of Call of Duty. And if you like Destiny, well, you've got Destiny 2 coming.
Hmm.
So, a lot to talk about. I guess first things first, I want to talk a little bit about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Uh, I was kind of disappointed. I don't know if they're doing this on purpose or if they're really just kind of spreading it out. I was hoping that since everybody is clamoring for some more Mega Man action, that the story would focus a little bit more on X. And while he was in it, and you got to hear him say like a line, like he said something about Zero, and it looks like Zero's in trouble again. I'm curious to know who that was doing the voice of X, and why I'm not doing it. Damn it! No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I
Hmm.
wish the story would focus a little bit more on X, considering that Sigma is one of the major villains of the story, being combined with Ultron or somebody. I'm pretty sure it's Ultron. So yeah, with that, I really like what we saw. We got to see Rocket Raccoon jaw jacking with freaking Dante, and he got to use Dante's weapons, Ebony and Ivory. That was really cool to see Rocket doing that. We got to see Strider hear you like being awesome. So it feels like they're going the extra mile to really create a world in which all these characters can live. You even got to see Chun Li. Admittedly, when I looked at Chun Li, she didn't look right. I don't know.
I know that bugged me. Her like face. I mean,
Yeah, it
like
was
her
her face.
model's a little bit off,
Yeah, her
or
mom.
either her proportions to her shoulders or something.
Yeah,
Like something
Chun
was
Li's
like,
face looked off. I think it was lack of eyebrows.
maybe could be.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so again, it was really nice to see X there. I just wish that we would have focused a little bit more on him, just for the sake of pleasing all the Mega Man fans out there and me. Um, so yeah,
Hmm.
I'm really interested in seeing where that goes. Are they going to bring in other villains? How much of a I'm curious. Is Zero going to be a playable character in the game as well? I mean, he's got a character model
I'm
in there.
I'm pretty sure. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be a separate character all the way together, but more than likely.
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, you could have X be a keep away like shooter character, and you can have Zero being a like an in your face like hack and slash guy.
Get ready.
Get ready. Um, the only thing that really sucks is I love these games, the competitive fighters, but I am so awful at them. I can barely beat the arcade modes in these fighting games. Uh,
Like
so
I wish it's not like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 again. Otherwise, I'm just gonna stay away from this one. Because
yeah, for some
like
reason
I
you had a
didn't
problem
like.
adapting to that game. Like Marvel
I
vs.
just
Capcom
don't
2.
like it. It just feels like a one-sided fighter. Like if someone just gets you twice and that's the round, I'm like, oh great.
I don't know. It feels like that they were trying to make it easy for everybody. I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 1 for that for all things is pretty hard to do any sort of air combos. Now, I know for you being an expert, you're just going to be like, "Oh, it's really easy to do air combos once you get used to the characters you're playing as." But
Hmm.
everybody in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 generally had a similar play style. Like you could all sort of air combo with anybody as long as you figured out how to do it and what the general buttons were. Everybody pretty much had the same combo buttons. That's
Well,
always
like Just to interject a little bit, like with the air combo system and all that sort of stuff, one is different from two, and then two is different from three. One, I hope they reach back and capture that kind of play style a little bit more, because if you took that kind of play style and applied it to this new Marvel vs. Capcom, it will be a lot more better for the gameplay altogether, because you were able to come back, like, in terms of combos in Marvel vs. Capcom 1.
Maybe. Now I know that they're bringing back like the Infinity Stones or whatever you call them from, like, I think it was Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Marvel. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is yeah, just Marvel superheroes with like Doctor Doom. It was just like all the Marvel characters, Juggernaut and all them. Uh, Maybe they're trying to do that kind of thing again.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did try to do a little bit of the Injustice 2 formula where on your own account you can sort of customize the characters, add powers to them, add things to them that make them unique to you.
That with the roster of Marvel vs. Capcom, I think is going to be overcomplication to the nth degree.
I don't know. Darius says that he liked all the PlayStation VR games. I can't say whether or not I do or don't. To me, it's just like it's more money that has to be spent
Like
for a
if you
novelty I'm not
invested
going to
in
use.
the ecosystem, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But like if something's not like ready to go, it's just like, will you get VR?
Not really. It's a novelty that I don't find myself using all that much.
Like I could see VR being a thing, but it's just I think it's a separate thing than what everyone's going for. But then again, I don't have that one friend that I can lean on to that's like, I am hardcore VR, experience, and so I just don't understand the mentality that you would like, fork over maybe $300 into an ecosystem like
Mm,
that, and that's just the hardware.
yeah. So when it comes to Marvel vs. Capcom, I'm excited for it. I'm terrible at the fighting game, so I expect that when the game comes out, I'll be able to play it online for like a week and actually be satisfied getting a few decent wins, a few losses, and then I'll never be able to play online ever again because then everybody will just turn me into a doormat. So yeah, that's my take on it. I don't know what the Infinity Stones or Infinity Gems are, or how integrated into the game they're going to be. We haven't really seen. I don't think we've seen any gameplay for the game. We've just seen
Because
cutscenes.
if they're gonna do Infinity Stones, you are able to steal them away from other, like, opponents. Some of them gave you double damage, some of them gave you faster movement, other ones made your opponent move slower. So I mean, it had like its perks. Other one gave you better defense. So I could see coming back with the use of the Infinity Stones to be like the ultimate Smash Bros thing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Injustice 2 then, because you can alter the characters in that way.
Yeah,
Um,
but this is like live altering of characters. It's like as the game is going,
yeah,
so it's kind of like that little element of Smash Bros. If you think of like, I'm just taking a modern example.
yeah. Mark Zamora, very disappointed this year. So happy about God of War though; it looks amazing. You know what? Admittedly, I am surprised. I found myself actually interested in God of War. It was something that hadn't happened for years. God of War just kind of it was same boat, like same crap, different day. Whenever they made a new God of War, like it's like, okay, what gods has Kratos not killed yet? Let's integrate a story around them and off them. Then again, I guess when it comes to God of War, a reboot was pretty much their only outlet because once you kill all the gods and you got a game called God of War, where do you go from there?
I think they're just trying to go with like standard monsters now. At least that's what I'm understanding
I
from
think the
everything. They
giant
haven't showed a
serpent.
god yet.
I think the giant serpent is a mythological creature. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to.
Well, yeah, but they're going with mythological creatures, but I mean, it's not like in terms of god status.
Maybe like we did hear that woman say that the gods do something or not, so that they're probably still there. Um,
They're just not actively playing a role.
Maybe not in the forefront. So yeah, God of War looks really good. I'd still like to know for sure if this is a reboot to the classic or is this just Is this some sequel with Kratos now having a son? Not sure. That'd be an interesting idea. Because, I don't know, with how hardened and battle scarred and war torn and borderline evil as Kratos is, it would be an interesting take on his character to take him away from all of that and give him a son that he has to be nice to and have in terms of raising him right so that he doesn't end up like his father did. Because ultimately I am still confused about how, if this is not the Kratos and if this is a reboot Kratos, how does he go about getting the white skin with the red tattoos? Because if you know your God of War history, he only has that because after he made the deal with Ares and under his blind rage murdered his wife and child, and their ashes were forever cursed to be a part of him, and he'd carry that with him for the rest of his days, and that's why he looks the way he does. So why does
It's
he?
probably a different sacrifice or something,
Yeah. So why does he look like the way he does in this one? Assuming it's a reboot,
or maybe it's just an alternate reality.
possibly different timeline.
Maybe he didn't kill his wife and children.
This probably isn't the same Kratos. So no Mega Man game. Why? No Mega Man game. But to see Mega Man X playing a prominent role, hopefully, in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite amongst all the other great characters, that is a decent consolation prize for me. I am just concerned whether or not X is going to be sidelined in the story, considering Sigma's a major villain. Something that unfortunately happened in the comic books that came out a year or so ago, like with the Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man, Worlds Unite comic storyline that came out, where Mega Man X, Zero, Axel, and a slew of Sega characters from Knights, Panzer Dragoon, all of them got sidelined in the comic just so Sonic the Hedgehog could take center stage with the Chaos Emeralds and defeat Sigma and send them packing. I thought that was bullshit. And to me showed inexperience on the writer's part. So
Mhm.
yeah, I
Or
didn't.
maybe it was just writer's bias.
Oh, I know it was writer's bias because it was one lone writer who's, I think his name is Greg, and
Greg.
and he is really good at writing Sonic the Hedgehog comics, and that's prominently what he does over at Archie. And to be fair, and I'm sorry, but writing a Sonic the Hedgehog comic, not that hard to do, because ultimately you just got to retell the stories of the games, and there's a lot of them, and in between them, just kind of tell little fan fiction side stories. Not that hard to do. With the Mega Man storylines that he had to tell for a little while, he had to get very creative on how these games were connecting from 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then when Mega Man X showed up and he was doing his little beginning story of that, he was starting to tell an interesting story with X. And then the Worlds Unite comic came out that clashed all of the superheroes together, and Sigma was the main villain. And Mega Man X, Zero, and Axel are completely sidelined and useless in the comic. And that is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
How is Sonic the Hedgehog with the Chaos Emeralds going to come out of nowhere and whoop Sigma like he's nothing and send a pack? I'm sorry, but no. And so that's why I'm concerned with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I'm just like, if Sigma's going to be one of the major villains, fused with Ultron or not, X has got to play a prominent role. That's his villain.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean, yeah.
after like the big three, I'm gonna go back and watch the coverage for Devolver Digital and Ubisoft, which I'm actually surprised that they actually had a thing. So, uh,
No, they didn't show us anything totally new. They just elaborated on some of what we knew. Well, Monster Hunter, that was completely new. Some people thought that was Turok, which I didn't
really?
know. Yeah, my
No,
first
I knew because
impressions
of
was
the
Monster Hunter.
animation. I was like, as soon as I saw him like walk a bit, I'm like, oh, okay, that's already Monster Hunter.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the giant
It's
sword on
it's
his
the
back, I was
swag.
like, something was screaming Monster Hunter to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
The
yeah,
bony
I thought it
sword.
looked a little too good to be Monster Hunter, and then I was like, oh, okay, Monster Hunter World or whatever. Yeah, Monster Hunter World. I'm pretty sure that might be a PlayStation exclusive
Yeah, that might.
because
It's leaning so heavily because they got that Monster Hunter like trip or double X,
like,
I think
has
it's
there ever
called
been
for
a
the
Monster
Nintendo.
Hunter on any Xbox console?
Let's see.
Because I know that they've worked with Nintendo and Sony before, but I don't think there's ever been. I think Monster Hunter, and plus Monster Hunter is a huge Japanese title. There's a few of them that we didn't even get, so I doubt
Uh, there was Monster Hunter Frontier, Monster Hunter AG Premium Pack,
on Xbox.
360,
Oh, okay, so it's possible.
mm, uh, Monster Hunter Double
But
G.
wait a minute. If it's possible, why didn't Microsoft show it yesterday?
I mean, these are old. The 360.
No Last of Us Part 2 gameplay. To be fair, I kind of thought The Last of
I
Us was
think it's too
overrated.
early. Or well, I think it's too early. Like even whatchamacallem, that other game, Horizon Zero Dawn. Like that's a
Yeah,
little
that
bit
that was a
too early.
shock, man. The game's only been out for a few months and already Horizon Zero Dawn 2?
It's too much shock too early. It's like so you're just not gonna work on no DLC for the next game. Okay. Show.
That Spider-Man game was such a tease. I know it looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Visually, like swinging around New York City looked really amazing. The trying to add the webbing into more of the combat was also a really cool idea. Using your webbing to take advantage of the field, like how you can have a little sort of mine on the wall, and if anybody walks past it, immediately they get webbed to that wall. That's
Like
really
I
cool.
like it when he like lands and everything like that. That attention to detail of force when he lands, because he like sways forward a little bit and then corrects his posture. Like little things like that just makes it all the more better.
Yeah, like I was really digging the new costume. So yeah, plus
It
we
takes
we
away from that like newer Spider-Man from
Spider-Man
the
Homecoming.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah, where Tony Stark made the Spider-Man outfit. I wouldn't be surprised, like if
the
this,
goggle lenses.
yeah, if this is kind of following up on the new movie.
But this is its own story, or which kind of universe of Spider-Man are we talking about, or we're just not sure.
Raquela says Monster Hunter has never been on Xbox.
Well, I mean, probably not in English.
Nintendo
It's
will
been
be
on
focusing
Xbox
on winter
360.
sales. We should mostly just be getting release dates for games that we know of already. Nintendo Directs are what it's all about, not E3. Yeah, Nintendo has pretty much given up on E3 presentations. They just kind of do their own little web show periodically throughout the year. And I do know for a fact that either it's today or tomorrow, but Nintendo's going to be doing one of their Treehouse segments.
hmm Like, I thought that they would actually be a part of the event, but like, yeah, I could see them doing their treehouse thing.
Puppet Devil says you are the best YouTuber I ever met. Aw, thank you.
Oh,
I was hoping for Devil May Cry 5, but still disappointed. You know what? The Marvel vs. Capcom trailer almost tricked me, because the first thing you see is like a desolate area, and then there's like a monster coming out, and who's the first person you see him fighting? It's freaking Dante with a sword, and I'm like, oh! And then I'm just reminded, oh wait, Marvel vs. Capcom. Oh, so yeah, it was kind of the same tease all over again, like last year when they first announced it, and you saw Mega Man X walking into the distance. Everybody screamed and thought we were getting a new Mega Man X game, and then we saw Iron Man, and then everybody was like, "Oh." And this year, it's like now all of a sudden we see Dante in the middle of the action, and it's the Dante we know and love, and we're like, "Oh!" And then we see like Ryu, and then we're just like, "Oh." Oh yeah, that's right. We also didn't get to see Resident Evil 2 the remake. We know they're working on it, but they're very hesitant on showing anything of that. I don't know if they're working on it at all right now. Like all their
Well,
houses in Capcom just might be busy. I mean, we've got Monster Hunter World, which looks amazing and looks like it takes a lot of manpower to make that game. We got Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which also looks like it's going to take a lot to make because they're actually focusing on a story that is very cinematic, and I love that. That's going to be a really good game for me to play. Um,
because like I'm seeing a lot of like optimization within like the engines that they use for these like next generation consoles,
yeah,
and Sony seems to have the better polish out of all the engines. So I'm feeling pretty confident though. Like even though Sony isn't that much involved, or I don't know, it's like
Sony definitely knows how
the
to make
two
a good show.
companies are just like I don't know, a little bit more detached than Microsoft, but at the same time, they're both two strong companies,
Yeah,
in
like
terms of graphics.
yeah, I just love how Sony makes their show very interactive. Like for that one new zombie type game that already I was just kind of like, it's another form of clicker zombie bait. They actually had people hanging from the ceiling, swinging
I was
back and
like,
forth. I'm like,
no.
oh, that's cool. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like one game that did come out of left field, the Shadow of Colossus remaster. I'm not against it because it is a great game, but why?
Yeah.
Like, well, why not? I guess would be your best answer, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I know, but I mean, as long as they add something a little bit more to the game than what we originally had,
I
like
agree.
almost how like they did the Ratchet and Clank remake, but like I mean, not as to like, make the first game uncanon.
Yeah, I think for the remaster, they probably should add something like maybe add more Colossuses that we didn't have. Like instead of 16, maybe it's 20. Um,
Yeah, I know. Just like make it a little bit different. Do like what you call them? Have the dev team do something fun. Like I mean,
or maybe like put something. Actually, here's something they really should do: add some open world enemies that are just roaming around the open world field because it confused the hell out of me. Why in Shadow of the Colossus you can swing your sword just on the open world, but
mhm.
there's nothing on your level that you can fight. There's no point. You're never gonna swing the sword at a Colossus. You have to climb that thing and stab it. So why does he even
Mhm.
have a swinging sword animation? I'll tell you why. It's a trick question. Because if you're lucky enough, you can find these little lizards throughout the entire game, and if you just kill them with one swing, they increase your health. And I'm like, that's a little bit of a wasted opportunity right there. You could have put something in there for me to fight.
Yeah, like maybe some birds, but at the same time, the limitations of the PlayStation 2 didn't have that much RAM.
No, but it sure as hell pushed the PlayStation 2's graphical capabilities to the limits of the time.
Like really, Xbox of the first generation of that era. Oh my God, the Xbox was far superior than the PS2, but PS2 has such a stake in
Again,
that field.
it's the same story for today. Like the Japanese just have more fun developing for the PlayStation than they do with the Xbox. So by default, the PlayStation's library here is just that much bigger.
Yeah. hmm It's like
The
culture
Final
bias.
Fantasy fishing game looks awesome. I don't know what to make of that. Is that just going to be like a
It's
side
like
game?
It's Sega Bass Fishing, but Final Fantasy
Pretty
skin.
much. Capcom might not be doing Resident Evil 2 remake like they did with Mega Man Legends 3. Just watch. Yeah, that would be upsetting. Well, to be fair, we have fans that are like dedicated fans that are already doing their own Resident Evil 2 remakes, and they do look really good. I'm sure you can YouTube them. 2018 is going to be a big year. I know there were a lot of games that were scheduled to come out for that year, so get your
Yeah,
wallets
like
ready. Start saving.
if you guys saw like the PC Gamer show, that also showed more of the third-party games from the Microsoft press conference that they didn't really elaborate on. So, like, I mean, like, yes, it's coming out for console too, but like, some things that they didn't really talk about on the Microsoft press conference. It's on the PC gamer side of it, but it's a boring watch. That one is a boring watch.
Gmeo Star. We will get a new Mega Man game in the year 20X. Don't be playing with my emotions. The Final Fantasy fighting game is coming. That's right. Why didn't they show that? The new Dissidia game for the
Oh,
PlayStation 4. We're getting a new Dissidia Final Fantasy.
hmm.
Yeah, a trailer came out like a couple of days ago for it. They should have showed that. That would have been great to have on
It's
their
probably on
lineup.
the show floor, but I mean, I guess they didn't really think that was news.
I don't know, because, yeah, I saw the trailer a few days
Okay,
ago.
another confusing thing is that they showed Kingdom Hearts as a trailer, but they didn't show anything in the Sony press conference just now.
Well, because that trailer
What
showed up
the
at an
air?
orchestra, and like the Kingdom Hearts trailer announced that next month in July we are getting an even better Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that's going to show off a brand new world.
A whole new world.
Please, not Agrabah again. Like, unless we're doing the King of Thieves storyline, we don't need to go back to Agrabah. In
Oh
fact,
god.
I would be really excited to find out that if the new world that they show off in Kingdom Hearts is going to be Star Wars based. I mean, they have the access to it. They've got access to Marvel and Star Wars and Indiana Jones, for crying out loud. You might as well put it in there.
Yeah, and I do like the way that they were doing things.
Rockstar didn't show Bully 2 or Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay. I guess
Mm,
they just weren't ready. Smash Brothers for the PlayStation 4. No, we had PlayStation All Stars once, and it wasn't even PlayStation All Stars. It was what games are coming out this year? Brawl.
hmm It, actually, the indie game, what was it, Brawlers or something like that? It's like a Smash Brothers clone.
There's a lot of Smash Brothers clones. They just kind of meld together after a while.
Mm,
What was that game with the cyborgs that they were showing, like the Cyborg Revolt?
Cyborg Revolt. Oh, okay. Let me just search for that real
Yeah, the
fast.
one where I'm just like, yeah, that guy looks like Leonardo DiCaprio, just a much younger version.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, the visuals in that remind me a lot of Alpha Watch Dogs, but before Ubisoft decided to then
nerf it.
lower the graphics when the game came out. Detroit.
But then again, I think it's like let's see.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see The Evil Within 2 is going to happen because I really liked the first one. I didn't so much care for the ending. I mean, the ending wasn't bad or anything. It just left a whole bunch of unanswered questions that I really wanted to know, and I didn't get satisfaction. Sad to say, I'm not really interested so much in South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
The defractured butthole. Get it right. No, just kidding.
We will never get a
Um,
new Mega Man game. Only don't say that.
just resign yourself to not knowing.
No, Bloodborne 2 was disappointing. Well, there's a lot of games that could have potentially come out that, of course, didn't. I mean, where's Legend of Dragoon 2? Where's Tomba 3?
Tome Buttery. Oh man, I like Sony should have brought up the nostalgia games. Like, I mean, just try and make an old school Sony game, but with updated graphics.
Well, they're doing that with Crash.
Yeah, I know they're doing that with Crash, but I mean, like, you know how Sega did Mega Man 9 and 10?
Mm-hmm.
That, but with maybe more updated graphics.
Days
Okay,
Gone. Yeah, that's the zombie one. Days Gone.
yeah, and the one with the human cyborg one is called Detroit
Yeah.
Become Human.
I don't know what to make of Days Gone. I'm not sure what is going on in the world. I just know that we have a new breed of zombie slash clickers that run around and start feasting on human people, and we're now trying to survive again, just like we did in The Last of Us. It's a tired cliche that I am really getting sick of abusing. But I don't know. Maybe the story in that one could bring me to it. No Spyro Remastered Collection. Yeah, I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see our old purple dragon. Happy holidays, fat boy.
Spyro the Dragon. But then at the same time, weren't they doing a different game with Crash?
Oh, somebody said
Bowser?
like they were, but I don't think so. No new Sly Cooper either. I'm sorry, guys, but Sly Cooper, I think, has finished. His last games were not doing too well. Sad for Kevin Miller, though.
Yeah. Poo poo. Let's see. What other game was there? Got that cyborg game. That cyborg one is actually an interesting angle because it's from the robot's point of view.
Yeah. I don't think people are down on the Sony conference. I still think that they did a little bit better than the Xbox. I mean, sure, they weren't hitting with every amazing title like we wanted like last year. I mean, let's face it. Last year is really hard to compete with. I mean, Final Fantasy VII's remake, Shenmue 3 announcement, the new Uncharted that like was it last year or was it the year before that? Either way, that was a really hard act to follow.
Yeah, but I mean, I really kind of wish they went back to the PlayStation of old, kind of like thing.
Yeah. But for what we did
That's
get,
just
while it
me.
was a short conference, they did hit us with some heavy titles.
hmm It's just that I'm getting tired of this modern aesthetic of half realism kind of like thing going on.
Somebody in the chat, can you tell me a little bit about Uncharted Lost Legacy? It's clear that we're not following Nathan Drake, but the women that are in the game, is that Nathan's Drake daughter, or is that the chick from Uncharted 2
Yeah,
teaming up with Nadine from Uncharted 4? That kind of is what it looks like, but I don't know for sure. Like, who's the cast? Who has a theory, or who knows for sure who we're following in that game? You know what, Gmeo Star, you might be right. The Horizon Zero Dawn announcement that we saw might not be Horizon Zero Dawn 2, but it could be DLC, a DLC story add-on for the game that we already had. That to me makes more sense.
see, like the Uncharted game. Trying to watch it back again. Yeah, the audio track is actually fixed now, but I think in the first part of they're talking to each other and they're saying a bunch of things. So I think we need to rewatch that to fully understand who's who.
Mm-hmm.
So, like on YouTube, if you guys want to watch that one, it works out.
Okay, so yeah, people are kind of confirming what I said, that Chloe is from Uncharted 2, and that is probably Nadine. Who knows?
Hmm.
Um, Perhaps
I
Spiral will be
guess,
announced next year as its 20th anniversary, kind of like how Crash was announced on his 20th anniversary last year. It's possible. I am still shockingly excited for Assassin's Creed Origins, just because I really like the ancient Egypt sort of theme going on. I would think
yeah,
it's pretty funny if they did find a way to integrate Ramesses into the story, or Moses at the very least, like maybe at the last moment.
like
Plagues.
something not as serious of a role, but just around humor, you know?
Well, yeah, like don't make them like a big part of the plot. Just something that was like. Any of you guys ever see the movie Ben Hur, where like Ben Hur, it takes place during the biblical times when Jesus was around, and like Jesus is even in the film, and you like, and I'm sure all of you know the story of Jesus. But like Ben Hur, he's in the story and he's doing his own thing, and you occasionally hear like, "Oh, Jesus is gathering like the thousands of people on the hill," and I'm just like, "Oh, okay, that was an event from the Bible." And like the event, like Jesus being hanged, being taken to the stake to be nailed to it, like all of that stuff is in the Ben Hur story, but it's not the prominent focus. The story is about Ben Hur, and like it feels. I feel like that
It's
would
a
be the
little awkward, but I mean,
I
it's
feel
kind
like
of
that would be the way for the Assassin's Creed Origins to go. That would be kind of interesting, where
it's
Moses
they're
and
around
Ramesses
kind
are
of
in it,
thing.
but they're not the focus. You know,
Hmm. They're there, but just not
the
there.
focus. They're not the focus. But that would be fun. Like plagues are coming down, and then you see the Red Sea.
Hmm.
Also, no confirmation on Not a Hero DLC for Resident Evil 7. What did you think of it? What did I think of Resident Evil 7? Damn, that's a game I still have to review, because I played the game and beat it, but time just got away from me and I never got the review out for it. Um, I don't know anything about the DLC for Resident Evil 7, sadly.
Hmm. I think you rented that title, maybe? I don't know.
Far Cry 5, again, not sure about the Far Cry series. I've played maybe a few minutes of a couple of titles, but no, nothing beyond that. Let's see, what else did they have? Um, I'm just kind of stuck with the titles that I talked about already.
Hmm.
Like,
Like we didn't even touch VR though, but there was the uh which one, the Dragonborn thing, and
there was the
little
VR where
mouse.
they were doing the Tron thing. I don't know why they didn't just come out and say it.
I know. It's, they just don't want to go through the branding. And then there's the mouse with the Onimusha gauntlet. Um, there's a lot of VR titles. I mean, if you're into VR and stuff, I mean, that's your thing, you know? It's your
Are
bread and
those
butter.
games in my background? Yes, those are games in my background. And yes, that is my dog that just walked in. And
Those
yes,
are
back
real
there, that is
games.
also a gunblade. What makes me mad? Sony didn't announce backwards compatibility for the PS2 and PS3 like Xbox is doing for the original Xbox games. That is a good point. That is one feature that I would say is cool for Xbox. Sadly, it still comes at a cost of you having to go out and buy the brand new Xbox One X that pretty much says, well, your
That's
Xbox
tripping
One
up
S and
people.
your original Xbox One are completely null and void.
I
And
mean, not really, because they said that the developers have to have both game systems to be actually playing the original game. How much that is reaching over, I don't know. So it's like we might be gimped at 30 frames per second while the Xbox One S X is doing 60. So I mean,
maybe, but I don't
that's
know how
gonna
the whole
suck
backwards compatibility
computers.
thing's going to work because they still don't have a handle on the 360 backwards compatibility because they
Yeah,
said they
there
have like
is some of the
300 titles that are backwards compatible. Well, that's not a lot, and I'm sure Tales of Vesperia is not one of them.
yeah. Like I mean, well, maybe probably is, but it maybe they just got the major ones out of the way, and it's like it's what they're doing, like Crimson Skies and all that sort of stuff. But there is a problem. I don't know. You know what? Is that a problem with licensing? If they're doing backwards compatibility, they're playing the original game, though. I mean, they don't have to get the 100% okay
Mm.
with like song titles and stuff because it's just playing the original game. So, I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
how that works out.
I would like to hear what you thought of the full Resident Evil 7 game. Yeah, I probably could do it. I'd have to work on it a little longer. The only thing I can really say is I like playing the game on easy mode because for me that makes it a little more fun. The one downside to it is you can't really unlock all the cool stuff. Like you can't unlock infinite ammo. You can't unlock the better guns on easy mode. Um, you can unlock some stuff though on easy mode, which I think is probably the way you should play it, especially if you're just kind of in it for fun. Play the game on easy mode, beat it as best you can, get the perks that you can get from beating it on easy mode, and take those perks into your normal difficulty setting so that you can get through that and then work your way up to the harder difficulties with the new perks you get every time, just in case you don't want to immediately go into the hard mode and get your balls rocked.
Huh.
Will Spider-Man be an open world game? If so, will it be expected to be as big as GTA 5? I think it would be almost sacrilegious for the Spider-Man game to not be open world since we've confirmed and seen how well that ever since Spider-Man 2 on PS2 and Xbox and GameCube, you cannot have an open world Spider-Man game. There's just too much potential in it.
Oh, that was a VR title. The Impatient, which was like that psych ward one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Was
kind of
hoping
glazed
for a
over the
new Tomb
VR.
Raider trailer, but oh well. Well, yeah, we do know that they are that Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix are working on another Tomb Raider game because the title for it got leaked. I forgot what it was called. But at this point, I still think that they're coming up with designs in the drawing room for what the story should be. So I wouldn't expect any Tomb Raider footage or a trailer
Mm.
or even a teaser like until like late 2018. So what did I think of Redfield? Like Redfield? Do you mean like Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 7? I was surprised to see him, if that's what you mean, but that's pretty much all I can say because he was only in it for a minute. That's it. I will be getting my PlayStation 4 Pro, Xbox One X. Are you serious? Extra small Xbox, please.
I worry about the Xbox One X because like I kind of messed around with PC hardware and all that sort of stuff, and that vapor chamber thing might become a problem. I'm just worried about it. I mean, like I'm just gonna wait and see what goes about. Whatever happens, happens, kind of thing.
Yeah. As long as Spider-Man is not in the middle of a cornfield. Yeah, I guess that would make traveling a little bit.
That kind of reminds us of our little discussion of like if Spider-Man was in our city.
Also,
Like our
guys,
city is basically flat.
I want to test something out. If you can see, I've got like a Twitch alerts thing set up in the corner, and I've got it on my streaming service. Can anybody like throw a subscription out there so I can see if the pop-ups work on the screen because they should. And I've been getting in contact back and forth with Streamlabs about it not working, and so I want to be able to confirm whether or not it really is working now. So if it doesn't, I can still bitch at them and tell them that they need to fix it and they need to tell me what I'm doing
Fix
wrong.
it now.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to subscribe or do something that should trigger it, uh, or donate, but yeah, so
Donate.
yeah, subscribing should be another way to tell if it works or not. And if nothing appears on the screen, well, then that will tell us that something is up. E3 this year seemed pretty mediocre overall. Yeah, again, last year's a pretty tough act to follow.
I mean, Nintendo could probably hit it out of the park because we can't haven't really heard
Well,
all their
again, I've
plans for
heard
the
that Nintendo's
Switch.
not doing anything for E3. They just kind of have their treehouse sections and their
Yeah,
Nintendo.
I
Their
know they're not gonna have a full-on auditorium thing, but I mean, they could still hit it out of the park. I mean, they could have good titles and stuff for their Switch, and I think they're still supporting the 3DS.
Oh yeah, they're still supporting the 3DS, but right now the Switch is the hot topic. But they're probably gonna
So I
show
would
off
like to
their
see what kind
Nintendo
of titles that
Direct.
they're gonna have. Like, I mean, if they pull another one of those, like, remember when the Wii had like an excessive amount of games? They announced Sin of Punishment
Mm-hmm.
and all that. It was just ridiculous that year. It's like, oh, how are we gonna review all these? So it was an interesting year for the Wii.
Xbox One X has to be the most dumbest name. It should be called the Xbox Scorpio.
Like, I mean, double S, one. I don't know.
Nintendo is going to be good. They 30 minutes in Treehouse. All right.
Yeah, like I hope so.
But yeah, the Shadow of the Colossus remaster, it does look cool. I would like to see them add more to it than just a flat out remake because
Yeah, maybe.
outside of the aesthetics and the designs and the giant Colossus fights, there's not a whole lot to do except just traveling. So if you're going to remaster it or remake it, you might as well add to the remake.
Uh-huh. And plus, give the dev team some differing parts of the story, so it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Add old school DLC or something, make it interesting.
If Nintendo announces anything out of the blue, I will be stoked and so damn happy. I'm already happy with what they announced, though. Well, yeah, they've got a good start on their lineup for the Switch. It's just a matter of waiting for the development process to finish on each title. That's the problem with all these newer graphics cards and trying to make these games photorealistic. Be prepared to wait 5 to 10 years in between each title.
Like, I love how Mario Kart still sold a hell of a lot for the Switch.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if
Like,
Ico will
damn.
get a remaster as well. It is a bit odd that they would announce Shadow of the Colossus remaster or remake and not include Ico in a package deal.
I know. Like, a lot of people just gloss over Ico for some reason.
I wish they used X's new design from his latest figurine. Yeah, that figurine is really badass. I'd like to own one.
Oh man, that remember that one concept art though that Capcom just let out on their Twitter, or was it their
Yeah,
Twitter?
and that's the art design that they used to make a new figure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really badass. I wish I could have it. In fact, that might be a costume. I wouldn't rule it out. They do put alternative costumes in these fighting games, so
Oh, that would be
X
sick if it was an alternative.
X might get some cool armors. I hope that Devil
They
May
have the
Cry and
old school
Bayonetta
Mega Man.
crossover coming. Like, oh, that'd be cool. Nintendo should release Eternal Darkness and Metal Gear Twin Snakes in their eShop. You know what? I agree.
Ooh.
Even though they don't. Hmm. I don't know who owns Eternal Darkness. As for Metal Gear, I don't know if Konami would approve of that. Or hell, Konami likes money. Well, Konami likes money. They're just bad at making it.
Yeah, and Twin Snakes had like much more enhanced cutscenes, right?
Yeah, Twin Snakes was a full-on remake of Metal Gear Solid 1, and I really liked it, but a lot of purists absolutely hate Twin Snakes because it over
Really?
oh, yeah, it dramatizes the cutscenes. It takes the ham and goes up to freaking 11. Like
Well, I mean, that's the whole entire point.
I know, but like it gets a little silly. Like when the Hind D is shooting a missile at Snake, Snake will freaking jump off the wall, land on top of the missile, and freaking fly around on it for about 5 seconds, doing cool stunts, and then like jump off of it as it's firing back at the Hind D. It's like really silly Matrix stuff, which honestly
Okay, there you go.
I like, and I think it's cool. But I can understand why some people are like, that's a little too cheesy and very un Metal Gear. And I don't know. Kojima was cool with it, but I think people harp on the remake a little too much. I think the over hatred is a bit much, and purists just kind of ruin it. It's a really great game,
I think we covered everything for the PlayStation E3 press conference. I think so far.
pretty much. Because again, they didn't show too much, but what they showed were heavy hitters. Dream remake
And
I'd love
like,
to see would be a PS4 remake of Tales of the Abyss. Love that one. Not a bad remake. My problem with Tales of the Abyss is that the colors look drab. The game is too damn long for its own good, and it is padded.
let me see. Did Tales of the Abyss get a PC release?
No,
Even if, like, I
no.
mean,
Tales of the
no.
Abyss was a PlayStation 2 game, and then later years it got ported to the 3DS.
Hmm. I see. Because they only have like Berseria and Zisteria.
Yeah. Well, and
Hmm.
Symphonia also got a port to the PC, but ugh.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait until ARMS comes out this Friday. The game got great reviews, and the test punch was real punch.
Hmm. Oh yeah, and if you did get Symphonia for the PC, they actually fixed everything. Community patch though.
Yeah.
So I mean, just letting you guys know.
I wanted to know your reaction to the Castlevania anime series that is coming out soon. You know, I should have did a reaction. In fact, I should have did a video talking about it. That probably still is something to look forward to because we really should talk about that sometime. I was really excited to hear that. Well, for a while, news was going around that something was going on with Castlevania, that it would either be making some sort of comeback in like a video form. And to find out that Netflix is doing an animation series, and we saw the trailer, it looks really good. Like we don't see too much, and we're not sure what story they're trying to tell. It might be Trevor's from Castlevania 3, but I'm optimistic. I won't say I'm excited because I'm not stoked or excited. I'm optimistic. I'd like to see where it goes.
Hmm.
Late to the party, but Sony was kind of a letdown. I wouldn't say they
Hmm.
were a letdown. They were short but sweet. Still better than Microsoft because
At
Microsoft
least
was,
they didn't pad it with like IPs that were released on other consoles.
yeah, like Microsoft, they were just boring. At least Sony kept me entertained.
Like the first, okay, the problem with Microsoft though, I mean, they did a good press conference. They showed a bunch of good stuff, but I mean, the duration in which the trailers were showing, it was like watching a school documentary, man.
Mm.
Like, ugh.
Thoughts on the upcoming Tomb Raider film? I will let you know as soon as I see it. It can't be any worse than Cradle of Life, man. Because my God, yeah, it is Castlevania 3. It looked like it because there were a couple of characters in there that immediately reminded me of the story. Because we saw a female magician or spellcaster, and I'm immediately like, that's got to be Sypha. We saw a dude with knives that made me think, okay, that's probably Grant. We saw another blonde pretty boy coming out of a coffin, Alucard. And of course,
Hmm.
we have our whip wielding Belmont, who's probably Trevor.
Hmm.
Shadow of the Colossus has me hyped. Yeah, again, I think it's a really good remaster. It's definitely out of left field. I don't think anybody would have or could have predicted that. Guess what's getting a remake? Shadow of the freaking Colossus. Why? Don't know. But it's a good game, so I just hope that it's worth the trouble of remaking. Did you ever watch the RE Visioned? The Revision Tomb Raider animated series. Yeah, I did. I saw those years ago. Like that was back when, shoot, was it Game Tap?
No. GameTap was the streaming service, wasn't it? Like a game streaming service?
Yeah, like it was years ago. Like Game Tap or something that was.
Game related?
So I don't know what it was, but
GameSpot?
they were doing a thing where Tomb Raider was being sponsored by them for a while, and they got like these little mini short like OVAs of Lara Croft and stuff, and a couple of them were really good. A couple were a little too cartoony and silly. But I thought that they were really good. Animation wasn't top notch, but for what it was kind of cool. It's a shame we didn't get a whole series out of it.
Hmm.
It would be nice to see a new Bloody Roar.
Yes.
Again, it's another
Sadly,
game
not
that
gonna
I
happen.
enjoy playing, but I'm terrible at. So, will you guys be doing reactions to each day of Square Enix Presents, or just all at the end of E3? You're gonna have to tell me what Square Enix Presents, because I saw the Kingdom Hearts trailer and I did a reaction to that because that's something I was looking forward to. I saw Square Enix's new Dissidia Final Fantasy for the PlayStation 4. Didn't need to do a reaction to it, but I think it looks really good. We didn't see any gameplay for it, but it's a pretty cool trailer.
Hmm.
This Christmas, it's all about the Switch. Nintendo aims to break first year sales records. It will be a tough task, though. Oh, I'm sure they'll do it. Like Mario Odyssey, ARMS. If they can reduce the Nintendo Switch price for Black Friday or Christmas specials.
Maybe, yeah, that will easily do it. If they actually show new IPs and stuff like that, because they said that the bunch of games were going to be coming out for the Switch. I don't think we got it
Kids
yet.
like to take their video games on the go, and kids, what do they love right now? They love tablets. They like the ease of use. And
Parents like the portability of it.
yeah, because my little cousin, whom I don't see much, like he plays games on his phone all the time on his little tablet. So he seems, among with all the other kids, that's kind of the demographic that probably is best marketed to. And what are they doing? They're playing on tablets. Let's make our
Or they're
console.
either playing the 3DSs.
They can. I don't see that too often. Like most of them usually have like their little phones, so might as well make a console that resembles that and make it interchangeable as well as high def. So it seems like
Because, like,
Nintendo
really,
seems to
when
know
I
what they're
go with
doing.
the Nintendo console, I typically play it when I'm traveling. Not really so much like I'm in a line and, oh, I need to break out Advanced Wars.
I don't know. Like for me, I can't really do handheld gaming on the go. I know that's what it's designed for, but
Yeah, I know, but I mean, for me, it's a car ride kind of
I
thing.
can't even do it there really because if I'm in the car or if I'm on the go, I'm always paying attention to what's going on outside or what's going on around me. I can't be invested in a story of a video game if I've got like cars going crazy all around me, and if I'm stationary in a
Yeah.
hotel room, maybe. In fact, yeah, I know that's true. Like I've been in hotels where I've had to play handheld games, and yeah, I've been able to do it, but I can't be on the go doing it.
Hmm.
Tablets have touch screens. I like controllers. Me too. It's on the Square Enix North American blog. Elemental Light, if you want to do me a solid, if you want to go to my Twitter page and send me a tweet of where that blog is, let me know and I will see if I can set something up.
Or you could even do it on our Discord.
Yeah, we have our Discord link right down there, or we'll put the link to our Discord directly in the chat. So if anybody wants to join in and be interactive in our community, you can go ahead and do that and send us all your favorite links and all sorts of junk.
Hmm.
FYI, you have a typo on the heading for briefing in the heading. Just a heads up.
Oh yeah, we'll fix that. Don't worry about
Is
that.
it? It doesn't look wrong. Not to me.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
You might
mean,
have to refresh your page.
hmm.
Oh wait. Oh, is it? Oh wait. Never mind.
Oh, see, like
Fixed
Blair
it.
Hardy helped us out with that.
Whoops.
That's the link to our Discord right there. So I mean, like, uh, I was gonna play some Killing Floor since like they're gonna be doing an event pretty soon. So I mean, gonna go ham on that.
Hmm. I get sick of playing handhelds in the vehicle or the bus. Again, yeah, Darius, you and I are kind of eye to eye on that one. I just can't do games on the go, especially games that require you to get really involved in the story. Like, there is no way you can play a Metal Gear Solid game on the go and expect to take the game seriously.
Like for me, it's the type of game. Like me, I'm more of a puzzler once I'm on the go. But if you're trying to play a fighting game, forget it. You're not doing it.
Let's see. What Tomb Raider games would you like to see get a remake from the ground up? Um, Tomb Raider 2 and 4.
Okay, got that Square Enix blog. Gonna shoot it to you, Will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tomb Raider 2 is probably my favorite Tomb Raider game because I like the story and I like the levels that they have us go to. Is a little bit of everything in that one that I really enjoyed. Wasn't too hard, wasn't too difficult, just the right amount of challenge in the puzzle solving. I like the gun selection. Tomb Raider 4 is definitely the most biggest and ambitious Tomb Raider game of its time. It's an incredibly long game that even for a speedrunner takes 3 hours to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's if you're
That's with good glitches and everything.
yeah, and that's with glitches in if you know what you're doing. Well, there's a binoculars glitch where you can skip like huge sections at one time, so that's like super cheating.
Like, do you phase through walls and stuff?
No, like the binoculars glitch, what it does, and I've explained it before, like at certain sections, if you go to a very specific wall and glitch yourself in the wall and use Lara's binoculars to look at a certain direction and then press the cancel button, for some reason the game will push you so forward into the game that you can literally skip like an hour and like skip all those levels. And I'm like, oh, that's cheating. That's why I didn't use it in my speed runs because I'm like, that's not fun. I mean, it's cool when you see it the first time, but people when they watch speed ones, they want to see you go through the whole game
Speed
quickly.
ones.
Speed run. But yeah, it's kind of boring when you're literally it's borderline level skip cheat code,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not fun.
Yeah. Like that's my problem with some speed runs, but like I mean, in some games it's just like that's the way it is.
A new Bubsy oh god.
Bubsy.
Yeah, I cannot believe it. Guys, we were kidding. All the irony in the world, all the jokes in the world. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Like 20 years of being just an absolute joke and a life of complete infamy might be just good enough to resurrect a long dead franchise. So you know what? Give Bubsy a chance. For all we know, the game might be good. 20 years later, maybe they learned something. If the game is self-aware, then that's pretty much all they can do. Maybe it might be good.
Worth the rent.
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I mean, he's not going absurdly fast.
Hmm.
Accolade doing something after 20 years. That's surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I can't beat Tomb Raider 3. One hit kills. I suck at those boss fights. I don't know what to tell you. Get good. Keep practicing. Tomb Raider 3 is definitely one of the hardest ones. When it comes to difficulty in the early Tomb Raider games, Tomb Raider 3, I like to compare it this way. All of you are very familiar with the Water Temple in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, right? Infamously the most hardest level in the entire game that completely pushes the difficulty up to 11. But the thing is, the Water Temple is a very compact level. It's just absurdly constructed to make you think it's very difficult. Now, imagine this. Ocarina of Time, you have one Water Temple. Once you get through it, you've gotten through it. Tomb Raider 3, the whole game, level after level after level, is a Water Temple. Pretty hardcore, right?
That's like no.
Each stage is its own Water Temple. Every
Like
level
if
is
you,
like every level is like a new nightmare.
like if you ever watched us when we were doing what was that playthrough of Ocarina of Time? I don't know if we live streamed it or what. It was the first time that I ever beat Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That
Yeah.
water temple.
Tomb Raider 4 is probably just the same amount of difficulty, but think of it this way. Tomb Raider 4 is one Water Temple that is absurdly long.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Good.
What do you think of Shadow of the Colossus getting another remake after being redone again on the PS3? Well, that's just it. Like, it wasn't remade before. Ico and Shadow of the Colossus got an HD remaster for the PlayStation 3, which, I mean, how much upscaling can you make a PS2 game look without flat out remaking it, you know? And that's
Mhm.
what it feels like they're doing here. They're just going to flat out remake Shadow of the Colossus, and I hope that with the remake they add additional content.
Or like add new things
Yeah,
like
add some more
that
Colossus.
one game Civilization, like they're adding things that the original game didn't have.
What could possibly go wrong with a Bubsy game at this day and age? You'd think very little can go wrong because they do tend to have a bit of good. They do tend to have a good handle on quality control today.
hmm Did you check out that Final Fantasy link yet?
Not yet. Let's see. I would love to see remakes of the exclusive PC levels on consoles, like the levels from Tomb Raider Gold, Gold 2, and The Lost Artifact. I agree. It would be nice to see console ports at all of those. Because even the first Tomb Raider game, oh yeah, like you just mentioned, Tomb Raider Gold had unreleased levels. They were unfinished business and like
Dang,
another
you
E.
remember the titles? Jeez.
They were PC level. They were PC exclusives. Duh.
Okay.
Like unfinished business and another Egypt level.
It was just Egypt.
Tomb
Well,
Raider
that's
2.
probably why you were resonating so much with the Origins game.
Yeah, Tomb Raider 2 also got a PC exclusive level, and I believe it was called the Golden Mask. I remember playing Tomb Raider 2 with my dad when I was a kid. I can never forget how hard the game series was in its early days. Well, that was part of their charm. They weren't easy handholding. I mean, they did the brilliance behind the Tomb Raider games back in the day is that they did not undermine the player's intelligence. If you wanted to get past the later stages, you had to think outside the box. You had to think. I mean, what a concept, right? A video game that makes you think?
Yeah. It's not like Zelda Bomb Wall.
No. Sometimes the puzzles were not obvious.
hmm
Let's see. I remember and then as you seal set in the ending of Tomb. Oh, and in the end, as you seal set in the ending of Tomb Raider 4, Lara should have been like, "Hey, set, fuck you." She runs away. Somebody's wouldn't watching our speedruns. Funny how this went from a Sony press conference afterthoughts video to like now let's talk about the past. I just checked
hmm
the E3 schedule for PlayStation is announcing more AAA games for Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay,
Ooh.
so tomorrow and Wednesday. Well, a little
Well,
confusing.
damn.
Why didn't they just
That's
announce it
just
now?
killing Nintendo.
Let's see. I've noticed in the Marvel vs. Capcom trailer there was a Monster Hunter creature.
But then again, I think that's for the public kind of like thing
Yeah.
to give them some kind of action because I think maybe it's open to the public after today.
Let's
I
see.
think.
What did you think of Days Gone? Well, again, I've gotten very tired of the cliches of how games these days, for the past, I'd say 13 years, have been doing the post apocalyptic setting where human civilization has pretty much crumbled and we have an outbreak of some kind of virus that makes either zombies or clickers or mad cow disease or any creatures coming around that want to eat others. Or
Or maybe
even
futuristic
yeah,
weapons.
or even the like that's one concept like Last of Us, or we have a futuristic setting with pulse rifles, jet rockets, and monstrous
Iron
creatures.
Man armor,
Yeah, like Iron Man
heavy
armor,
mech.
straight out like things like Evolve, very generic, very boring, lack of a
Well, Evolve really wasn't though, but I mean at
gameplay
the same
wise is
time,
gameplay wise.
yeah,
I'm separating the gameplay right now. I'm talking about I'm talking about originality and a great story.
in terms of character design, you mean?
Yeah, character development. Story is not enough to just drive me. You can't just throw a story in there. Character is ultimately what is the thriller and what drives people to become so related to the people that you play as. Character is what makes me enjoy a story. It's not about putting just characters that go through conflict after conflict. You got to give them reason. You got to make them likable. And that's kind of the problem with these new ones. And that's kind of why Days Gone By, the new one, I immediately didn't write it off because we got to see some of the characters interact. Like, really, dude, you were going to tell him to kill me? Oh, I wasn't going to let him kill you.
Yeah, and that's what I saw with that new Shadow of War or that new Shadow of Mordor game.
Mm-hmm.
You got more interaction with the guy that you just brought over to your side, you know? But like, I mean, I think you have more banter with one of them instead of like your whole entire horde, because then that would be too much dubbing and too much game information, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, Fan Ninja, I'm pretty much tired of the cliche post-apocalyptic zombie setting, or the futuristic pulse rifle laser blasting. Let's kill monsters in our Iron Man suits. very generic outfit. And I think that started with Dead Space, honestly. Dead Space was such a huge success that everybody just kind of wanted to imitate it.
Yeah, the aliens aspect of things.
Yeah, like Dead Space was just such a big mark.
Uh-huh.
But
What was I gonna say? Shoot. Um, in terms of the story innovation, though, I really do think that we need to at least go along the lines of that still, but try and do a different angle, like kind of like how we're doing the human robotics kind of like angle where robots are taking over and you're part of the robot resistance, you know?
mhm. So yeah, Fat Ninja, great name. Um, Days gone by. I'm not sure what to make it right now. I know I didn't immediately write it off like I had been other games. Like when Microsoft showed Anthem yesterday, I was not impressed. Like I'm like, we've seen this. Like when people were going crazy, like, oh my god, look at the graphics, look at the thunderstorms in the background and all the trees and stuff and all the debris that's flying everywhere. Oh, this is amazing. And I'm just like, we saw this in Dead Space 3.
Like, I mean, I saw it more as a means of what you call 'em? Lost Planet,
Yeah, Lost Planet. We've seen this before. Like
but I could see this being an MMO RPG kind of like aspect to it, which that intrigues me because there's actually an exploration. If they can actually do a World of Warcraft like aspect to it, that would be great. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen in the way that I think it is. But
Daria says, I
yeah,
want a new Legacy of Kain game or a remake. You know what? Since ever since Square Enix bought IDOS, there's no reason they can't make another Legacy of Kain.
hmm
They own the license now.
like I miss old school game companies. Like
Let's
they
see.
made games that okay, the way old school game development was is that they made a game that was fun for them, and it happens to be like a great seller, you know?
Oh well, that was their hope. They would hope it would become a greatest hits.
No, but I mean, like typically it would, and they would just come up with these unique ideas, like what you call them, nuclear strike. You were like a Harrier jet, or what was it, like a helicopter, getting rid of people or whatever, getting people to safety and all that sort of stuff, and then killing the opposition at the same time. So it's like this nice little mix.
The schedule says unannounced PlayStation games for Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, that's interesting.
hmm
Since there is a new Dissidia game, if Lightning is in it, perhaps as a costume choice, maybe she can have a use of the Tomb Raider costume that was used in Lightning Returns. Maybe. Why not?
hmm
I'm keen for Battlegrounds on Xbox so I can play with all my console friends.
hmm
Go for it.
Oh, is that actually a cross-platform game, or is it just eh?
You're asking me.
I don't know. Like Microsoft was pushing that so hard, so I mean, it might be. Look into that.
Have I seen the Hellblade trailer? Unfortunately, Darius, I have not. Do you think Final Fantasy VII Remake is going in-house or going in-house a good or bad thing?
I think that's a good thing because then things are actually gonna get done.
I'm sorry. What do you mean by going in-house?
Oh, they're changing. They're going from a person like it's their main developers for the Final Fantasy series. They're not like leaving it to a peripheral studio.
Oh, well then it's a good thing because that means that their main source and their main creators are going to have a personal handle in on it to make sure that it's a quality title.
Yeah, but
Probably good call.
didn't the original creators kind of leave, or
No,
did they?
no, Tetsuya Nomura, who was part of the, he was a big part of Final Fantasy VII back in the day. He's still
Hmm.
there.
Like, I don't think we're gonna ever capture another Final Fantasy VII because like everything is dated in terms of like trying
Even
to
back
apply
then, I
it
thought
the
the
old school
graphics in
way.
F7 were bad.
Like, I mean, I get that they were trying to like squeeze as much as they can into the game, but damn, there's only so much that you can push into 700 megabytes.
But yeah, I'm sort of saddened to know that Final Fantasy VII is going to be released in parts. But if they do live up to their word that each part is going to be the length of a full game, whatever works.
Ooh, that's a hard promise, though.
Well, who knows? It's Square Enix. They've been able to do some amazing things and equally disastrous things. So
I mean, that's a big gamble if they're gonna go like it's like disc one, disc two, disc three.
I would guess that, but we don't know.
Well, I hope so, and I hope that it just like staggers the release, I guess.
Instead of just talking, why don't I play something? You know what I could do right now is I could turn on the PlayStation 4 and I could see about trying to get that
Yeah, you download that.
Marvel vs.
And me,
Capcom.
I guess I kind of want to play some Killing Floor because I haven't really gotten into the series and all that sort of stuff. Like, I mean, mm, I guess I might just push my Steam account onto Discord. I mean, if you want to join me.
Are you in horror games? Seen the Agony trailer creepy song? I haven't seen that one either. Like again, some of these games are being shown on the show floor, so us guys at home aren't really getting the news feeds right away. Um, but yeah, I like The Evil Within. Didn't care much for the ending, but surprised and happy to see that they're doing a sequel. All right, so give me a second, guys. I'm going to plug in the PlayStation 4 has got to come on, so I'm gonna get that all hooked up and ready to go for you guys, so we can look into the Marvel vs. Capcom thing. Skytrick, where have you been?
I know he's just been in the. What do you call him?
Is it me, or did you have an uncanny valley effect with the faces in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? I did think that Chun Li looked a little bit off.
Yeah, we all know that everybody on the internet is now making gifs. Like they're gonna do something.
Booting up the PlayStation 4, guys. Give me a few minutes. So now I gotta find my controller. Oh, there it is.
Phew, I just wonder how that download thing is gonna handle.
Who knows? Okay, my PS4 wants to do an update. Hold on, let me see if I can get it to appear on the. I'm wondering if I should start a new stream for this because this is going to be like a Marvel vs. Capcom thing.
Oh
But no,
yeah,
we're still
interesting
discussing the
fun
PlayStation
fact.
here.
Oh well, I mean, I was gonna go on to something else a little bit, but I mean, interesting fact though. I mean, this wasn't really widely reported though, but I thought it was a fun fact. But you know how Gears of War 4 is for PC on the Microsoft Store and or for Xbox One,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then how they were doing that cross-platform play. Well, the data kind of dropped and everything like that, and it turns out it doesn't matter whether you use a controller or a mouse or keyboard.
All right, so my PlayStation is updating right now.
So if you work good with a controller, use a controller. If you work good with a mouse and keyboard, use a mouse and keyboard. You know?
I don't know why Capcom is shoving new Spencer Rad down us with his wife and his arm. Old Rad is better. No dreads. Talking about Bionic Commando or
Yeah, like they used whatchamacallit, the new style of Bionic Commando, not the old school.
uh, still
Yeah.
need some help with Tales of Asteria. Been so busy paying attention to game news.
Hmm. Yeah, game news. Like, why can't they have like just one central location in which we get all our game news? Like, just do that. But then again, that would
It's gonna
kill
take
like
a little bit
90%
to
of YouTubers.
update the PS3. It was sweet seeing Dante again. Yeah, I was really surprised. I was almost fooled into thinking that it was another Devil May Cry game.
Hmm.
Like Capcom, we're bringing back Devil May Cry, the good one.
Hmm.
But at least they've given up on new Dante. I mean, it could have been worse. They could have put crappy DMC reboot Dante into Marvel's Capcom Infinite, and I don't think anybody would have liked that.
But like, random question: what would be your dream game to see at E3?
My dream game to see at E3. Tales of Eternia remastered, or Tales of Eternia 2.
Remastered without sprites or with sprites?
I'd say make it look like the Nino Kuni 2 game.
Oh yeah, or the Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
More like the Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. Um, I'd like to see classic Tomb Raider come back, and I'm not talking like the reboots and stuff. Like, let's bring back our original Lara Croft.
A reboot of the original reboot.
No, not a reboot.
I mean, a reboot of the original
Just
Lara
like a
Croft, but
revival, I
of
guess.
the actual Lara Croft.
Did you expect Metal Gear Solid zombie game at Sony's E3 presentation? No. Like, I don't know if Konami is even still doing it.
Oh, Konami's game. Oh well, that. What about that Metal Gear Solid one that they just?
Hmm. I want to see a Mega Man EXE remake. Ah! Well, to be fair, at this point, it's like, you know what? Give us a
It's
Mega
good
Man
in its
anything.
own right. It's good in its own right, but I mean, yeah.
A Mega Man anything right now would help.
Hmm.
My dream game would be a new Parodius game. Not sure what the joke is.
Proteus. Is that one that they? It's like a shoot 'em up,
Mm.
if I remember.
Ratchet and Clank. We already got a Ratchet and Clank remake.
Yeah, the first one. We need the second one,
Yeah, and we got a
and the ones after
and we
that.
got
Mine is like if they freaking put Einhander in that thing, it's done. My life would be done. Skytrick is saying, I think uh, an Eternia remake that had additions like Dynasty XD or Destiny XD would be epic. Did I think your microphone messed up? Maybe. I don't know.
How long was I muted? Hello? Oh no, we can't hear him. Mayday! But yeah, the Tales of Destiny director's cut remake was amazing. I would like to see Tales of Eternia remastered in that style. A good 3 minutes? No! I was preaching some good news. And none of you could hear it. Yeah. Alright, we're trying to see if we can hear Nate again.
Yep.
Alright, good. What's my dog's name? My dog's name is Bruiser, named after Bruiser Kong from Tales of Destiny. I am not kidding. Oh my god. Nate,
Mm-hmm.
do you know the password to my account?
Your PlayStation account?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you kind of changed it.
I know. What did I change it to?
Um,
Don't say it live.
it is Sleeping Dogs 3. It Half-Life 3. I'm not gonna make that mistake.
Right now, I'm trying to get my freaking account to work.
Half-Life 3. The ultimate cheat code is Half-Life 3. Just enter it into the README file. That's how you unlock Half-Life 3. Mm-hmm. First Twitch buffering and now Sony network buffering. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do we have mic problems? Not again. No.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Ah, now we can't hear you again. What the hell? How come every time I unplug this thing... Huh. That is weird. Maybe it changes the speakers? Okay, hold on. Maybe I can fix this. Because now we can't hear Nate. Hello? This is gonna get old fast if we have to keep resetting the friggin' Discord. It's mime time. All right, testing. Does it work again?
Oh yeah, and dude, you might actually enjoy Killing Floor 2. Even though it is a zombie shooter or whatever, it's like a wave shooter.
Uh huh.
It's actually quite enjoyable. I mean, they even have community seasonal events. So right now they're doing their summer seasonal event, which is actually pretty cool. It's a undead carnival. So like basically think Carnival, but a lot more polished.
My password has been updated. Okay. That's good. Now, what is my password? Um,
Password. Twinkie Fox.
better not be.
Explosion Man. I don't know. I'm just thinking of off-brand stuff. Um, oh yeah, the other day I got Fester's Quest and Ninja Gaiden 2, two games that I needed from my childhood.
Okay.
I know, Fester's Quest. Who knew? It was actually a pretty fun game. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I don't give a crap what you say.
Oh, crap. Forgot my password. Let's see if I can try to. Testing. I don't know what's going on with this damn microphone. This icicle thing really needs to get repaired. Nate, if you ever have the chance, fix this damn thing. Hey, yeah, I'm getting tired of having to do this. That oh no didn't face.
Dude, we need Twisted Metal Double Black.
The password is Metal Gear.
Awesome.
Yeah, no crash announcement today. Oh well.
No.
What?
Wait,
That
what happened?
What is your date of birth? I entered my date of birth and it's saying that's not correct. That's not true.
Or
Oh,
maybe you lied to get
okay.
online early.
It was off by 1 year.
So that's when you made your PlayStation account?
I lied, apparently. I said I'm older than I am.
Oh, well, that's one problem.
That's what happens when you lie, or at least that's what happens when I lie. I can never remember the lie.
Is someone making a Call of Duty Black Ops reference? Mason?
We're in.
It's fine as long as it doesn't call you Dave.
A friend request received. Gigaleza92. Who's Gigaleza92? And why is he or she sending me kisses?
No! Not the kisses.
No. Featured. Alright, so where do I go to look for the Marvel vs. Capcom? Alright, I'm now going to turn it on the thingy.
Might as well show the nice people your PS4.
Yeah, I am. There we go.
Maybe it changed the stream name. Well, I mean,
you're fine as long as it doesn't. You're fine as long as it doesn't start calling you Dave.
Yeah.
Can't let you do that, Dave. All right, so yeah, you guys are right. This pretty much does conclude our discussion and briefing of the Sony press conference. We'll continue the live stream, but we will change it. I'm going to cut the stream and then bring it back up, and we're going to change it to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Story Demo, assuming we can get it to work. So, yeah, for those of you who want to stay and hang out with us and continue our lovely discussion, because we enjoy hanging out with you people, please feel free to stay exactly where you are. Don't move. Or, wait a minute. Yeah, you might have to move. You might have to find the new stream. So, yeah, check your subscription boxes if you've subscribed to us. And,
or the Discord.
Or the Discord. If you're in our Discord chat, it will be there too. So, yeah, we'll see you all in about exactly 1 minute. So, yeah, thank you for enjoying our discussion. Sorry that it wasn't as exciting as many of you had hoped. Sorry we didn't get every game that all of us ever wanted, but that's not how real life works, except for last year when we got everything.
I never get what I want.
We got everything we wanted last year.
Yeah, Shenmue.
Shenmue and Final Fantasy VII, finally. So, yeah. See you in a couple of minutes.